The past few weeks of protest and police activity have been the tensest moments that Columbia University has seen in more than 50 years. GZERO's Riley Callanan not only covered the upheaval from the ground, she's also a senior at Columbia herself, preparing to graduate under circumstances she never could have imagined. Riley, tell us a little bit about what it's been like to cover this story while wearing these two hats at the same time, being both a student and a journalist in the community where this is all happening.
I mean, it's obviously been difficult. It's a really challenging time on campus. I have reported on my fellow students being arrested more than once, as well as my peers who have gone home because they don't feel safe on campus, as well as my friends who are just really bummed that we're not going to get a commencement ceremony in 2 weeks.
When House Speaker Mike Johnson came to Columbia to give his address on the steps of Low Library, you were there. You were basically as close as a person could be to Mike Johnson as possible.
There is an appropriate time for the National Guard. We have to bring order to these campuses. We cannot allow this to happen around the country.
What was that moment like?
That was a really interesting moment because if you were watching it on the news, you saw a press conference where he was ostensibly addressing students, but if you were there and you were a student, you couldn't hear him. And I think knowing that my peers down below couldn't even hear him was really symbolic of all of these national figures coming to campus to put their stamp on one side or the other. The real audience is people watching it at home.
Let me ask you about that. What do you think the national media narrative that grew up around the protest in general, but about Columbia in particular, what do you think it misses?
A lot of students have nuanced views, and right now on campus our dialogue is a little broken, but I think we are all pushing for progress. And I think a lot of the national news audience, I think because also of these public figures that are coming on campus and using it as press ops and things like that, are really perceiving it through their own biases rather than if you're really on campus, you get a more complete picture.
What are your classmates talking about right now about this issue?
Right now, everybody's talking about commencement and how it's been canceled. I think that there is a deep sadness, especially in the class of 2024, given that so many people graduated from high school during COVID and didn't get their last graduation. But I also think that there is a lot of solidarity and that we know that we're living through a moment in history. And I think especially graduating during the COVID pandemic and losing so much college because of COVID, that the class of 2024 in particular understands that sometimes you live through history and events that are bigger than you can take away these big moments and that they're just not guaranteed.
So this time of year, people should normally be worrying about studying for finals. How are people studying for finals? How is campus life happening right now?
Campus is completely shut down. That's why we're in this park a few blocks away. The university is completely shut down. There's police everywhere. You need an ID to get in. So this is kind of the closest place that students can gather at the moment. It feels like almost like an echo of COVID-19. Everybody's alone in their dorm rooms, taking classes online, taking finals online.
After all of this upheaval and tension, is there a positive takeaway that you have from all of this?
I think one thing that I have found really inspiring has been watching my generation become politically aware in real time. A lot of my friends at the beginning of this year didn't have a feeling about or an opinion on the two-state solution either way. But now I'm watching my friends read and debate and discuss, and watching students use their voices to speak out against the war in Gaza is translating to them finding their voices on other issues, and I think that that's inspiring.